Welcome back to the Bitcoin Business Bureau. I'm your host, as always, LitecoinLeader. Today, I'm revisiting on a coin that I did for Coinopoly. I'm going to do a refresher on it. It's called OMG. It used to be called Omisego, but now they've just gone down to OMG, kind of what they did with Kentucky Fried Chicken, but that's a different story altogether. So OMG is the coin we're going to be talking about today. It's done a full transformation of what it used to do versus what it's doing now. It used to be banking for the unbanked, and now it's more of a DeFi coin. And it's kind of mooning now. We're not quite sure why, but let's take a look at the news, the old chart that I originally did back in July, and we'll do a refresher on it and see where it's headed potentially today.
Just a quick reminder that nothing in this video is considered financial advice. I am not your financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Seek out your own advice and do your own diligence, do your own research.
Hello again, everyone. I just wanted to give you a heads up where LitecoinLeader is going to be in October. First event that I'm going to be on October 1st is at the Utah Summit, speaking with a number of other crypto influencers. We're going to be it'll be Bitcoin Ben, it'll be Jim Flanagan, it'll be myself, Litecoin Lisa, Miss Teen Crypto, and a host of others that will be speaking out there on Friday, October 1st in Utah, just south of Salt Lake. Tickets are only $39. I'll put the link below, and you can find out more details. It's a one-day event, but there's going to be a lot of content, a lot of details, a lot of information, a lot of good people to meet with. There'll be talks, there'll be a luncheon, there'll be a keynote talk from Bitcoin Ben. I'll be talking early in the day, also be on a panel in the afternoon, and there'll be plenty of conversations later on in the evening. So after that, I'm also going to be heading to Texas. Well, first I'm going to head to see my friend Divvy Daddy, and we'll be talking about what we're doing next after that. But him and I are going to be doing a little bit of powwowing, and then we're going to have a few days before the Texas event with Bitcoin Ben's Founders Group, which is 8th, 9th, and 10th in Boerne, Texas. But what I'm going to be doing a couple of days beforehand with Divvy Daddy is that Divvy Daddy and I, we're hosting a private event for people on Friday evening before the weekend event in Boerne, Texas. If you ever had a consultation with either myself or Divvy Daddy, we want to give a thank you. And we're hosting a private event for anyone that's ever been involved with us or worked with us in the past. If you're going to be in the Texas area, come on out, have a drink, and just have a conversation with us Friday evening. I'll be posting the details of where it's going to be, but please contact me. I'll give you further details. It'll be Friday evening in Boerne, Texas, before the weekend event kicks off with the Founders Group with Bitcoin Ben. And also the Wednesday and Thursday before everything kicks off that weekend, Divvy Daddy and myself, also as a thank you, are giving a personal, we're going to have a personal consultation window for those 2 days. If you want to come out, just hang out with us and talk for an hour. It also gets you a free invite to the Friday night event. So I'm going to put that on my calendar for Wednesday and Thursday. If the times don't work for you, please contact one of us and we'll find a special slot for you. But anyone who's ever consulted with either myself or Divvy Daddy are welcome to the Friday night event, and as a thank you for working with us. So we wanted to just express our gratitude, build our community, and just have a good time, be social. And we don't get to do that enough. So we're going to be in Texas early on Wednesday and Thursday, in the city limits of Boerne somewhere, and we're going to be having these appointments available to you. And we want to hang out with you. We want to talk to you, answer any questions you may have about crypto, whatever you want to talk about. It's your time. As anybody who's ever worked with me or consulted with me beforehand, of course, there's a siren. It's just how it works. But whatever, it's that big of a deal. It's siren worthy. So we just want to say thank you. We want to say thank you. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. So we just want to put it out there as a thank you to everyone. It's a special thank you from both myself and Divvy Daddy. We're going to be out in Texas early. Space is limited, of course, because we only have so many hours in the day. But we want to, pay it forward, give it back to everybody, and make ourselves available. If you want an in-person consultation for a nominal fee for our time, but that also gets you the invite to Friday night, the Friday night social, and the drinks are on us on Friday night. So come on out to Texas, have some time with us, and let's talk some crypto and have a good time. So that's where I'll be. Salt Lake on the 1st, Texas Texas the following weekend, and a few days beforehand. It'll be on my schedule and calendar. I'll post the link down here. Please book a time with us. If there's any questions, just reach out to me, either 240-517-6051, or drop a note to me either in the comments or on email at jeff@litecoinleader.com, or reach out to me on Telegram at LitecoinLeader, or even Instagram at LitecoinLeader. I look forward to seeing everybody in Texas. Look forward to seeing everybody in Utah. I hope you can make it out to one of those two events, maybe even both. Let's have a good time in October.
So this project is now called OMG. It used to be called Omisego because the original company that started it was Omise in Thailand. And they started it back in 2013, where they were working to bank the unbanked. Now, this project has gone through some iterations and was almost left for dead about 1.5 to 2 years ago. When we get to the chart, you'll see why. But they were trying to bank the unbanked. They were trying to move forward with different projects. But now they've retooled, restructured what they're doing, and they basically just rebranded themselves. They have moved off of the Ethereum blockchain. They were an ERC20 coin. Now they are on their own mainnet as of June, and they've rebranded to just OMG. So they are now just considered OMG. Omisego name is gone. The question is, what do? They do two things. One is they do layer 2 scaling solutions for Ethereum, which we all know is a problem. That's why Matic's been so successful, and Loopring and Loom, and we all know the issues that Ethereum has with scaling. Also, they're now getting into the DeFi space. So OMG has long-term relationships with both Vitalik Buterin and Gavin Wood. Those two names should sound familiar. Vitalik is the lead person at Ethereum, whereas Gavin is the lead person at Polkadot. He used to work with Vitalik when they were both at Ethereum. So now OMG has close ties to them. They're both advisors. But OMG is the first project that worked with what they call Plasma. And Plasma is a specification that was written by Vitalik Buterin as it's a scaling solution for Ethereum. So OMG is actually built using Plasma. So they are a layer 2 solution, which is basically a side chain or another layer above the Ethereum platform. Think of it as an on-ramp, off-ramp for the superhighway of Ethereum. And OMG is built there. So they are ready to scale accordingly. So they've moved on from the banking the unbanked, which a lot of projects are now doing, to more of a scaling solution for Ethereum and also the DeFi sector. Why is the DeFi sector prominent? Well, one of the latest news articles that came out from the Omisego Project, the OMG Project now, is that they were recently acquired by a Hong Kong over-the-counter trading firm. So jumping to that article from Cointelegraph, Hong Kong OTC trading firm acquires OMG network. So this was done back in December of 2020. Went without much notice whatsoever. And this is important to notice because, again, I go back to what Omisego was originally founded. It was the Omise company. It's in Southeast Asia. They're based in Thailand. Their target audience was Southeast Asia. So we have to remember that crypto is global, and we have a bias towards North America. That's where most of the projects are, maybe somewhere in Europe. We don't hear about too much going on in Asia, even though there's development going on. Omisego/OMG is one of those. So what happened back in December was that a company called Genesis Block, which is based in Hong Kong, it's an over-the-counter trading firm, they acquired OMG. So now OMG is going to be their number one platform for lending and trading for their version of the DeFi sector. So now we have OMG becoming likely a bigger player in the DeFi space, and they're a layer 2 solution that works with the Ethereum blockchain, and they have an advisor in Gavin Wood. So those are three good ties in the crypto space that say OMG could get more value, get more attention, could basically resurrect from the dead that they've been the last couple of years, and we'll see the price chart, and they could take off. And it's in a market in Southeast Asia that is ready to boom if the right products are announced. I don't know of too many DeFi projects that I can think of off the top of my head that are based in Thailand, or the Southeast area in general. So a lot of them are stateside or in Europe. So I like that this project is heading that direction. It's one to watch. It's fallen off the radar mostly because it was doing the banking and the unbanked thing 2, 3, 4 years ago. Went through the boom cycle in 2017, and then it's kind of tapered off to no action. So OMG's picked up a lot of activity in the last several months because it's a trustless layer 2 solution. It's also going to add staking and be a proof of stake on its mainnet. That has the details have not been announced of how that's going to work, but that's going to lead to both a demand for OMG tokens and also an investment. And people are going to want to acquire OMG to stake, but also the supply is going to go down because more people will stake as well. So more and more coins will come off of the market, which will increase the general price because there's fewer available. Two other significant stories that I want to mention that's happened in the past 12 months for Omisego. In the last year, Omisego has both been listed on Coinbase. That was done back in May. So that boosted the price, and we'll go over the charts in a moment. But also, Omisego partnered with Tether. So that was in August. And what that helped is that if you look at the transactions on the Ethereum blockchain and what's driving the high fees, number one is Uniswap, number two is Tether. Tether is driving a lot of extra cost because everybody wants to trade in and out of Tether quickly on the Ethereum blockchain because that's how they go into a stablecoin. Tether sucks up a lot of value and a lot of cost there for transactions. So the fact that OMG is now working with Tether to pull Tether off of the main chain and onto the side chain of OMG, and they can do all the Tether transactions and bring it back to the Ethereum blockchain, will reduce the general fees both for acquiring and using Tether and also to reduce the general traffic and lower the general fees on Ethereum. So those two are both significant pieces of information and news. So that's the news on Omisego, now known as OMG. Let's take a look at the chart and see where we're going. Pulling up the main two charts once again for OMG, I'm looking at the last year or year to date on a daily chart for both OMG against the US dollar and OMG against Bitcoin. Now, finding patterns on the US dollar chart is a little tricky because I seem to see a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pattern followed by an ABC correction for Elliott wave, but it's a little tight to see. So that's why I wanted to jump over to Bitcoin and see the similar timeline and see if the chart is a little bit more pronounced. So same timeline, it is a little bit more pronounced. I clearly see a peak and a valley for 1 and 2, a run up for 3, a good pullback of 50% or more for 4, and a last push upwards for 5, and then an ABC correction. So that to me starts to lean towards, hey, this could be heading in an uptrend again. Now, how big can that uptrend be? That's where we have to really zoom out and we have to understand that OMG has been rebranded. Things are going in a different direction. Now we have to treat it as a DeFi coin more than, and a layer 2 coin more than a banking the unbanked coin. So historical prices may not be that relevant, but they do provide some context for people that have been in this project for a long time. So looking at the big picture on the Bitcoin scale, and we definitely have to zoom out here. So going back to all time, you can see how this basically it's down to almost nothing compared to historical values. We're looking at 13,000 Satoshis right now, whereas this line right here is 116,000. It's a 10x. It would be a 10x to get to this first blue line. And then it's another double there, and it's almost a triple there. So you're looking at 10 to 25x potential for OMG, which would put it in the 50, let's see, 25 by 5. Well, 10x would be about $40 to $50 a coin. 25x would put it over $100. Now, OMG, as far as against the US dollar, we just went over that. Historically speaking, where are we at long term? Let's look at the biggest picture here. For all time, we go back to 2018, the all-time high was in the 30s, it appears. So, can it get there? Yes. Anything's possible for OMG with the rebranding, with it now moving to help work with Tether as a layer 2 scaling solution, and also the fact that it's now in the DeFi space, and it's representing an underserved market in Southeast Asia. The upside potential is there. The charts don't necessarily tell the entire. So that's why we have to look at both the charts and also the fundamentals and see if we can come to a reasonable conclusion about the upside versus downside risk for a newly branded project. Basically, they just reimagined, rebranded themselves.
So I wanted to do a quick update on the chart for Omisego Go or OMG, whichever they're calling it today. So I don't know if you see what I see, but here's the chart for the past year, and I see a cup with handle forming. If you look at the point from May down to middle of July, then up to the last month, that's essentially a cup. It's a little distorted, but it's getting close to an even. And then a handle will form, and then it will shoot up, and we can see a price that's into the 20s. Now, for confirmation, I went out to Twitter to see if anybody else is looking at it, because I wanted to try and pick up on any news I may have missed, anything going on. I can't really find any news on OMG right now, but I can tell you that someone's seeing what I'm seeing. And here's confirmation from Tony. I don't know Tony, but based on his charting, I think he sees the chart very much how I look at it. This is a weekly chart from Omisego. So let me jump back to the weekly chart. I think that's a reasonable look. Let's take a look at the weekly chart. So on the weekly, and here's how I look on the weekly chart, and I think that's a year to date. Yeah. So there's the cup more pronounced. You can see the cup starting from 13 down to almost nothing. It's 2-ish. So that's a depth of the cup of about 11. So 11 on top of a handle, and in the 12 to 13 range, we target about. So let me slow down again. We have the left side about 13. The bottom is 3. So now we're looking at a depth of roughly 10. So, and here's the neckline of 13. So 10 plus 13 would be 23. A reasonable target would be somewhere in the 20 to 23 range, because you have to give a little bit of room for the handle to come down. So the cup will finish forming, it will go down a little bit, and then it will go back up. But Tony sees a very similar picture. He sees the cup forming, again the all-time high in the 20s. He sees a resistance line, but if it cracks through that, he sees targets. It's a bit aggressive to go up in the 40s to 122, but he definitely sees that there's a lot of upside for OMG. Now, OMG, as I mentioned earlier, the news is pretty light on them right now, but again, they're in Thailand. I don't think they're giving out very much information. But if you notice something else on this chart, the volume's picking up in the last month or two. And if I go back, that's the daily. If I go back to the weekly and zoom in, why does it keep doing that? Why can't I just zoom in? Let's just zoom in the old-fashioned way. All right, the volume is picking up. You can see that big volume spike there, and you can see it more pronounced on the daily chart as well. In the last couple of weeks, you can see how the volume's really picked up in the last 2 weeks or so. That's a very positive sign. You can see it's come from languishing in the 3 to 5 range, coming up significantly, nearly doubled in that time frame. So it's got strength, heading in the right direction. I think the project did look strong. Let me turn it back over to myself for some final thoughts. So there's the coin for today. My opinion, and it's just my opinion, not financial advice, but my opinion and the other guy I found on Twitter they both see a cup with handle, and it could be heading up to the 20s, which will push the all-time high. Not necessarily breaking it against Bitcoin, because the all-time high back then and 3 years ago, Bitcoin was much lower. So we still have room to grow against Bitcoin as well. So I could see his point about saying we could get, 100 seems like a lot, but there is plenty of headroom for OMG to grow as a project. So with that said, my original rating back in those days was a 2 out of 5. I now put it at 3 because I think it's starting to mature. There's news that we can't find just yet. That sometimes happens, especially for a product that's not based in the US. But I wanted to refresh this get people to understand that Omisego of old is not the Omisego that you once knew, if you knew of that product before, but it's certainly an interesting project. OMG could be an OMG going forward. So keep that in mind. Keep it not financial advice, but should you choose to get involved in this project, keep in mind that it's a little bit of a riskier project because we just don't have that visibility yet of what they're up to. But it looks like there's positive news, there's positive volume as well. So keep that all in mind. Looks like this is a potential project that could be a competitor for other projects that are trying to help with the scaling issue with Ethereum. So you have your Solanas, you have your Atoms, Cosmos, you have your Polkadots, your Zilicas, your Thetas, and Cardano, of course, as well. So and plus you've got Matic, which is also helping with the second layer issue. So I think that's where OMG is more comparable to. People are discovering it. OMG tends to lead the market historically, but history is kind of being thrown out the door because they've rebranded and they changed their direction. But it's nice to know that the team is intact. They have been working on this project for 3 or 4 years now, and there's plenty of room for this to grow. So lots said, lots to consider. Think about it, make your own decisions, of course, do your own research. With all that said, I'm going to close the drawer on the bureau, and I'll see you next time.